Gonky, tell me about the F-18 being a great dogfighter.
Oh boy.
F-18 pilot explains why naval aviator flying a Super Hornet would lose a dogfight against F-15s and F-16s most of the times.
Who is this?
I guarantee you this is from Quora. It has to be. It's all. Anytime you see an article like that, it's somebody that's like, I flew these jets, and it's Quora.
So the guy that wrote it, he's a growler guy, right? So he flew the Hornet a little bit.
It is Quora. I told you.
Of course it's Quora, dude. And then he flew the Hornet a little bit, dude. So I'll save you the pain on that. It's basically his perception.
You can't. It's already there. Can't take the pain away.
It's his perception of why he thinks the Hornet would lose every time. And I mean,
read the quote.
What's the quote?
I'll be ostracized forever by my fellow naval aviators, but USAF versus USN usually turns into a pretty big one-sided fight. Valid. And not in our favor.
Disagree.
Look, I'm as big a Super Hornet homer as there is. I grew up loving it. I adored it while I flew it, and now that I'm retired, I dream of getting back in the saddle of the magnificent beast. Too late, dude. Trust me.
All right, Wombat.
But even I have to admit the Super Hornet's weakness when it comes to fighting in a phone booth, aka dogfighting. Our Navy jets have to generate a lot of lift at slow speeds in order to land safely at the boat. That's part of the reason why we have such huge leading edge extension Lexes. They're the part against the fuselage next to the cockpit, extending back to the wing proper. That's great for recovery at the boat, but all that lift comes at a price and deuce drag. Basically, it means the more lift you create, the more drag you have as a result. In practice, what that means is that F-16s and F-15s that don't have this penalty can add energy or sustain turns better than F-18 of any variety. And F-18 has to be flown damn near perfectly to beat the other. Did they not teach aerodynamics in the Navy?
Dude, Wombat.
Tell me you were never taught dogfighting because you are an electronic warfare platform without telling me you were never taught dogfighting.
Okay, yeah. So Wombat. So you
had me in the first half, though.
So Wombat, as somebody who's properly trained in the art of dogfighting, what do you think about his comment of the Hornet being a bad VFM?
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of arguments, but slow speed is not one of them.
Go ahead.
Slow speed is where I wanted to be. That was where I seeked being, because if I could get slow speed, I would win every time, except against a Raptor, because that's not a fair fight. So, because they have all sorts of gizmos. But F-16, F-15, if I can go slow, no. If I could go slow, I had a very good advantage because I could sustain it. Same thing Gonky's going to say. This guy's a growler guy. They're not trained.
He's both.
He's both what?
It said Super Hornet and Growler. Says he flew both.
It's the same thing. He's referencing his Super Hornet-ness. The Growler is just a Super Hornet. It just has more drag. I don't buy it.
Or he was early in the program, so he got his 5 hours in the Rhino down at 122 with us, and then we
but I don't know. No, dude. I'm sorry. Maybe with all your nerd pods on it and all that stuff, sure.
We're just talking BFM, dude.
BFM in an air-to-air against an F-15 or an F-16, or a new guy that doesn't know how to fly his F-22, which I proved once with my skipper. You have a very good chance. I'm certainly not going to say that it is a lopsided fight, not in your favor. Sorry, not. No.
Mover, what are your comments as a well-trained fighter pilot?
Viper and Hornet, by the way. I've flown them both.
Yeah, so I mean,
I speak to these things.
You know what the Hornet can do.
Well, I flew the Legacy, which is, it's I would say it's good. The first time I ever fought a Hornet, I was a young lieutenant, brand new, right? They briefed me. I'm like scared to death because I'm first dissimilar. I don't know anything. And everybody told me, it's like, don't get slow, don't get slow, don't get slow, don't get slow. And I was fighting F, so the 2-seat Super
family model,
the family model, dude.
The mini wagon,
the family model. And first of all, the Navy and the Air Force, we fly different. I learned that when I got to the Navy. Setups in the Navy are more cooperative than in the Air Force. So, for example, at the checkaway and the turn-in fights on, Navy likes to start things very gentlemanly. left to left. We're gonna meet co-altitude. Air Force does not, dude. I'm doing everything I can to start winning from the time we check away to the time we don't. So this first engagement, we check away. I dive. I'm coming back low to high, and the Super Hornet guy, I'm talking with my hands. I know he decides to go 2-circle, because I'm gonna turn across his tail, see what he does, and he starts going uphill. Like he does this kind of oblique, or as the Navy fellers will call it, oblique, because they can't pronounce common English words. Oblique uphill.
We beat common English. Thank you for your
it's
freedom.
not even. It's not right.
Sorry.
You're just mispronouncing the word. But so it goes in the oblique. I'm in a Viper, clean block 30 big mouth, and I'm like pointing at him within 90 degrees of turn, 120 degrees of turn, and I'm like, why is this so easy? Because what's the saying? Go up to blow up, right? So I saddle up and just ride the pipper all the way down, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this is the first time I scoff a Wizzo. I'm like, what's he doing in the back seat? He should be telling him to jink. All I'm doing is
we still don't actually know. That's a great question.
I'm like, but they briefed me that the guy was on his way to Top Gun, so I really was nervous. So after that, he didn't want to do another butterfly set.
That doesn't mean anything.
We just did a beam sets from then on, because like you could tell the dude was pissed. And so when you get to the beam sets, it was a lot more neutral, because the Viper we can put a bat turn, like we can give you one good turn, or we can give you a sustained rate. But when you get slow speed, it's much more difficult, because we have an AOA limiter that the Hornet does not have. So the Hornet thrives when you get into the slow speed regime, for the very reason that he said it's bad. The leading edge extensions and the flight controls are what gives it such good nose authority at slow speed, versus the Viper, which it does have not as good leading edge extension. It does have extensions off the root, but it's not nearly what the Hornet has. But the Viper also has an AOA limiter, so the jet just won't let you do it.
Yeah.
And so if I can outpower it because I've got an AOA limiter, but you have an AOA limiter in the Hornet, it's called pushing the stick forward. It's, it's you as doing pilot shit. It was much more neutral, still won, but much more neutral when we went to a beam sets, because it was a slow speed fighter. The Canadians also fought with the CF-18, and they like to go up too. And they would do this 1-circle uphill thing, and I could just do the double Immelman and gun them. I fought the Viper versus the Eagle, and it was neutral. But then I went Hornet versus Eagle, and the Hornet had trouble against the Eagle had trouble against me and the Hornet because they're just arcing. They're going so far around, and you're just like pointing, and eventually they get slow with you. And then it's like, okay, well, you're in my wheelhouse. The only time people in the Viper have trouble against the Hornet is when they go nose low. They start going nose low because, dude, the Viper wants to get fast and pull 9Gs. Like, that's its thing. And if you go downhill with a Hornet pulling 9Gs, it's going to hurt. Well, maybe not with ATAGs now. This is old man BFM.
Back in the day, it would hurt.
Back in the day, it used to hurt.
Yeah.
But either way, it all comes down to the pilot, and whether the pilot knows how to exploit the weaknesses of the enemy and the strengths of their aircraft. Any given Sunday, I've known Block 30 guys having no problems against the Raptor because it was a really experienced Block 30 guy and a really inexperienced Raptor guy. And I've known dumb lieutenants that have gotten gunned by everything. It depends.
Yeah. So, Mover, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. You have to know your airplane's strengths and your opponent's weaknesses, and then it is your job to get them to fight your fight, which is your fight is to your aircraft and your skill set's strengths. That's the best you can do.
Which no growler guy has any strengths in this arena. Therefore, that's why he feels this way.
Well, but if we're just talking, look at this picture here. So this is a Hornet gunning a Raptor.
Yep.
Right?
Dude, there's a T-38C video gunning an F-22.
Right.
Any given Sunday. I always say that.
So
100%.
for him to say the things that he did, it's pretty amazing. And the other thing is, each aircraft is built for a specific task, dude. The F-15 will smoke the Hornet in any kind of interceptor mission.
100%.
Yeah. And you don't get in a 2-circle fight with the Viper and a Hornet.
No.
Period. Dot.
No.
Unless you're a DCS.
Unless you're a DCS.
DCS, the rules change a little bit because you've got King Kong motors in the Hornet.
Hornet becomes Hornet on crack.
No.
But yeah, there's just certain rules to live by, and it sounds like he doesn't. I don't know. When I read that article in its entirety,
dude, every time we do one of these, it's always Quora.
It's like, dude, the guy doesn't understand what he's doing.
Well, I will say, in fairness, though, he is correct in that, they talked about energy excursions, right? When you cash it in, you better make it count, because getting it back, especially legacy, we flew the A+, that was it, dude. Once you cashed it in, you were done. And I'm sure the Super Hornet,
The Super was worse, wasn't it?
yeah.
Because it was draggier.
It was better. The Super Hornet was better out of the hole to like 300 knots, but then after that, the old jet's better. But
it's because there's nothing super about a Super Hornet. Let's all say it
it's
together.
just, dude, you have to play the strengths and weakness game. I mean, like, when I fought the MiG-29, right? I never had any problems fighting MiG-29s, and they're a lot like an F-16. I'm not gonna play the thrust to weight game with the MiG-29 because I'll lose every time.
Yeah.
Right. So you get them to fight your fight, but if they're good, there's counters to the counter, man. I mean, you can
see, and that you just said it right there, Gonky, is you get them to fight your fight. And this is a growler guy talking.
I know.
They're not.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he completely understands.
I get it, right? Because I know growler guys. Like, I get it. And I'm going to sit here and tell you, if I could do it all over again, that ain't a bad lifestyle. I'm not going.
We had growler jams on. He's quite.
He's cool. Pale's cool. Yeah.
Pale is
I'm
good human.
You can live up at Whigby Island and fly Super Hornets and have somebody videotape you for your YouTube channel the whole time. Like, that's a good way to make a living, right? But they are not taught the same tactical. They weren't. They may be now. I don't think so. But they're not taught the same way because they have a different mission.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
no. They came down to New Orleans. I taught them because
it's not
they made me go watch the stupid DVDs.
No, mover.
And
look,
then turn around and teach them.
That's just to get them exposure to it. Because
the
airplane will do it.
The same level as what a legacy or a regular Super Hornet.
It's like saying me and Wombat are really good at the harm mission.
Yeah, which I'm not.
No, dude. I've carried the harm, but I'm definitely not like a growler.
You make a good point about knowledge versus proficiency, right? When I was flying the F-16 in my prime, I was a full-time lieutenant, and I flew like 27 sorties of BFM 1 month. Like, this is why I have VA disability in my neck now. But at the time, it was glorious, and I got really good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's a lot of ingrained skills because, law of primacy, muscle memory, all that stuff. You see a sight picture enough times and you see the mistake, and you can get predictive. You know where the aircraft's going to be, you know where you are, maneuver in relation to the bandit, all that stuff. If you only do it once for just not proficiency, but just for familiarity, just to get you, okay, here's what it looks like, and you never see it again until 6 to 9 months later or a year later or whatever, you're not going to be good at it. I mean, just like shooting Mavericks, I did that once. And I mean, you asked me to do that again versus all the GPS guided weapons LGBs and stuff that I trained a lot on. It's two different things, right? Because it's what you train your skill sets to. So I understand, but there is that whole, hey, if you don't know it, don't say it part of,
Yeah,
it's pretty rough. At least he got one thing right in the article.
But I mean,
we are going to ridicule him.
All those jets, man, are incredibly capable, and they're all capable of winning on any given day. Like it just depends on
that, though. I mean, he admitted defeat already.
Hey, you're right away. Typical.
As any good seaman should.
As any good growler pilot should.
As any good Navy pilot should. Is just admit the defeat early and
never enter a fight without an alibi.
Because we focus on tactics and not landing.
Yeah, I didn't focus much on landing.
Either. Yeah, I was going to say.
I wasn't very good at it.
I've waved many a pilot who also did not focus
the
on
Navy
landing.
Pilots of the future, now that it all does it by itself, can focus more on tactics because they don't have to practice crashing into the boat every so often.
Well, yeah, it's more of a function of every lieutenant has about 12 jobs in the squadron. So
yeah.